As we come to the end of our collection of Christmas ghost stories, how could we finish without remembering the greatest seasonal ghost story of all time, A Christmas Carol by Mr. Charles Dickens. Ebenezer Scrooge was a mean old miser who thought that Christmas was nothing but humbug. "If I could work my will," said Scrooge indignantly, "every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart, he should." This is not a good start to the Christmas festivities, particularly for Scrooge's poor clerk, Bob Cratchit, who has a wife and family he would like to be with on Christmas Day. He also has a crippled son, Tiny Tim, who is very ill and might not live to see another Christmas. When Scrooge is alone in his bed, he's visited by the ghost of his dead business partner, Jacob Marley, who is wrapped in chains, weighed down with his burdens. The chain he drew was clasped around his middle. It was long and wound about him like a tail, and it was made, for Scrooge observed it closely, of cash boxes, keys, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses wrought in steel. Marley had come to warn Scrooge that if he didn't change his ways, he would end up in the same predicament. 3 spirits then visit Scrooge, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, who show him what he must do to save himself and others around him. The first spirit appeared like a child, dressed in white, carrying fresh green holly. "Who and what are you?" Scrooge demanded. "I am the ghost of Christmas past." "Long past?" inquired Scrooge, observant of its dwarfish stature. "No, your past." The ghost takes Scrooge back to when he was a boy and reminds him of how he lost out on love. "Spirit," said Scrooge in a broken voice, "remove me from this place." "I told you these were shadows of the things that have been," said the ghost, "that they are what they are. Do not blame me." "Remove me!" Scrooge exclaimed. "I cannot bear it." The second ghost is the spirit of Christmas present, who takes Scrooge to see Christmas at Bob Cratchit's house, where Tiny Tim is failing fast. He sat very close to his father's side, upon his little stool. Bob held his withered little hand in his, as if he loved the child, and wished to keep him by his side, and dreaded that he might be taken from him. "Spirit," said Scrooge, with an interest he had never felt before, "tell me if Tiny Tim will live." "I see a vacant seat," replied the ghost, "in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die." "No, no," said Scrooge. "Oh, no, kind spirit, say he'll be spared." A definite change of heart for Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge, and by the time the ghost of Christmas yet to come arrives to take Scrooge to see his own grave, the old miser is resolved to change his ways. He immediately sets out to make amends to all, and especially to his faithful servant Bob Cratchit, hoping against hope that he will be in time to save Tiny Tim. "A Merry Christmas, Bob!" said Scrooge with an earnestness that could not be mistaken, as he clapped him on the back. "A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary, and endeavour to assist your struggling family." Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.